the first time in my life, I don't feel like a total dick.
Yeah, me either.
Hey, everybody. Okay, I know that I am very late with this one, but it fascinates me. You all know that British commoners have been dousing their politicians with milkshakes. Grown adults are throwing milkshakes.
Call them slime balls if you like. I will.
And I'm not fascinated by the absurdity of it, and I'm not fascinated by the volume it achieved. What fascinates me is the debate around it. What the hell is there to debate? You would expect every mature, intelligent person to have the same reaction to this. I don't care who you are or what your agenda is. If you think it's acceptable to chuck milkshake over people, you're a piece of shit. End of. Yes, I got that from Twitter. God help me. I was on Twitter. I don't even remember why I got on Twitter or what I was looking for, because I was quickly distracted by some tweet about milkshakes, and that led me to the wide-ranging, heated debate on the subject. Now, I don't do a whole lot on Twitter at all, but not long ago on Dissenter I posted this. Anyone throwing a milkshake like that is a colossal pussy. Anyone defending it is a colossal pussy.
I can't even fathom the type of beta mindset you have to succumb to in order to throw a milkshake as a grown man at another grown man. Like, how much of a beta do you have to be?
Not everyone agrees. In fact, some people think that the milkshake tossers are heroes, to be celebrated. The humble milkshake has nailed the utter hypocrisy and sheer bias of the UK media and the political what the hell is that, commentariat?
Commentariat.
Yes, it is okay to throw milkshakes at fascists. If you think it's wrong to throw milkshakes at fascists, you would have hated my grandfathers. Now there's one hell of a comparison. The milkshake tossers are real heroes, brave and daring souls. Oh, people whining about right-wing figures being hit with milkshakes? Get to fuck, you soft twats. Oh, it's incitement to violence. It's ruining political discourse. At the Battle of Cable Street in 1936, a dock worker hit a fascist so fucking hard with an iron bar that the fascist lost an eye and spent the rest of his life being fed with a spoon. At the Battle of Stockton in 1933, fascists were met by trade unionists armed with bricks, bats, knives, and knuckle dusters. In the Spanish Civil War, thousands of men left their jobs, homes, and families to sail to a foreign land where they could really go to town on the fash. In World War II, things got really out of control, and we killed the fascists with machine guns, bombs, artillery, knives, flamethrowers. Milkshakes are harmless. They're a shaming weapon, not a violent one. Nobody's going to die or suffer serious injury from a milkshake. They're just going to look like a twat for a while. By pelting fascists and racists with milkshakes, we're letting them know how little we fear them. We could kill you, but we're not afraid of you, so why bother? Have this dairy product, you fucking cock. It's milkshakes. It could be Molotovs. Hopefully milkshakes mean Molotovs never become necessary. Notice that these people are talking about fascists. They believe that the milkshakes are being thrown on fascists. Trying to paint your opponents as ugly Nazis says a lot more about you than it does about your opponents. Now, about my late reply to this remarkable phenomenon, I realize that the election is over, but that doesn't mean that the colossal pussies will desert their desserts. Here's something to consider. Trump's coming to the UK. Get those milkshakes ready, gang. We're going to need a lot more milkshakes. I'm sorry. You want to throw milkshakes at the president.
You pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, English, giant, twerp, scumbag, fuckface, dickhead, asshole.
One of the fun things about this strange debate is that people are extremely concerned about whether or not it qualifies as violence. I'm sorry, but I refuse to believe that a milkshake being thrown at someone qualifies as violence. Pussies. Nobody is getting killed by milkshakes. There is a fundamental difference between humiliating those in power and hurting or killing people. Armed with milkshakes, brandishing milkshakes, milkshakes of mass destruction. Shit, I haven't heard that one yet. Improvised milkshake device, I haven't heard that either. Weaponized ice cream. The linguistic lengths they go to make relatively harmless humiliation seem like mortal danger is frankly appalling. Yes, the linguistic lengths are what we should be concerned with, not people throwing things at people in the streets. Milkshaking is perhaps the least violent way to deal with a far right that may also be potentially effective. This should not need saying, but apparently it does. Throwing a milkshake at someone is a non-violent act. Suppose I accept that. Let's peel away any concern about the violence, and let's also peel away any concern about it escalating into violence. Does that change my perspective at all? Of course not. Anyone remember this?
Already, you have members of your cabinet that are being booed out of restaurants. You have protesters taking up at their house. Who's saying no peace, no sleep. No peace, no sleep.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Yeah, create a crowd. Make sure your opposition knows that they're not welcome. There was one hell of a backlash to this, and rightly so, because it happened again and again. And then there are the protests where people bring bullhorns and noisemakers to drown out opinions they don't like. Or the people who claim a stage that is not theirs. The milkshakes are a part of that. The milkshake tossers are punishing people for having the audacity to appear in public. If you dare to show your face, we will throw sticky stuff on you. That it cannot injure doesn't change the tactic. I have condemned it every time I have seen it, and I will continue to. Fuck everyone who shrieks at politicians in restaurants. Fuck everyone who disturbs public speaking events. And fuck the people who throw the milkshakes. Now, some of you can see how fragile and insecure I am, along with my lack of perspective, because the real issue isn't whether or not people should throw things at their political opposition. The real question is whether or not people are overreacting to it. That's where the focus should be, right? Now, as much as I hate to say it, there really is something of an overreaction to the milkshake mafia. All these assaults are mock assassinations, whether the perpetrators know it or not. Mock assassinations? With milkshakes? Okay, so having surrendered the point that the problem can be overblown, what is the suggested response to it?
Yeah, it seems like escalation is kind of the big concern for all these conservatives.
Conservatives? You mean like Sam Harris? Never mind, keep going with your point.
They're all like, this is political violence against us and it needs to be taken seriously. And I can kind of see their point, because if you allow throwing a milkshake to become the new status quo, then maybe that really does have a slippery slope effect that leads to something worse down the line. But the thing is that people throwing shit at political opponents is nothing new.
I've got to disagree with you there. I've never heard of anyone running for office being doused with a milkshake 4 times in 1 week. I've never seen a widespread celebration of the act of throwing a specific food at particular politicians become a trend like this. That is something new. And if it has happened, well then let's just say it's pretty fucking rare.
And people have handled it way better than this. You want to know how? Well, take a look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example. So here's Arnold Schwarzenegger at a political event. You know, he was governor of California for a while. Sorry for the shitty video quality, but you can see here an egg has hit him in the shoulder. It was thrown by a protester in the crowd. Let's take a look at how Arnold reacted to that.
You got hit by an egg. What do you think of it?
Well, this guy owes me bacon now. I mean, there's no two ways about it because, I mean, you can't just have eggs without bacon.
Okay, that is pretty funny. But what happens when the egg throwing becomes a regular occurrence? I'll spare you the bad Schwarzenegger impression.
Arnold knows exactly what to do. You don't allow the person who's doing something to you take center stage. You don't allow the conversation to be about what they did. You turn the conversation into what you're doing. Arnold's like, yeah, someone threw an egg at me, but I'm here to talk some serious fucking issues. So let's talk about that instead of some stupid bastard with an egg. You know, it's great that he can express himself, by the way. Some dude goes up to Arnold at his event and kicks him in the back like, I'm gonna ruin Arnold's day. Arnold ain't fucking fazed by that shit. Arnold immediately is like, no, let's not talk about that loser who was so insignificant I'm not even bothering to file charges against him. Let's talk about all these great athletes who showed up for my wonderful event. So, like when Carl Benjamin or one of these guys gets a shake thrown at him and a reporter's like, what do you think about those people? Say, hey, it's great that they're out there expressing their opinion, but it's a shame that they're trying to silence me from expressing mine because I have this position and this position that I think would help lots of people in this country. Like, don't you think you could try that out?
Oh, that's good. That's as rich as a satisfying milkshake. If you get doused repeatedly with a mess, you shouldn't get upset or press charges or anything. You should just laugh it off.
If somebody gets in your face and calls you a cocksucker, I want you to be nice.
You know, maybe we ought to take it a step further. I mean, don't just dismiss them. To really show that you're the bigger man, you should make friends with a milkshake tosser right then and there.
Let's hold hands, mother.
Speaking of pressing charges, I really enjoyed this little gem. So, can we throw milkshakes at liberals and journalists? The UK has been throwing eggs at Labour politicians for 12 years, and they've laughed it off. I'm beginning to think that the left aren't the snowflakes. Laughed it off? Go for it, Corbyn. I'm with you on that. The dork that threw the egg at you is a colossal pussy. Jeremy Corbyn pressing charges is appropriate. After all, I would want charges pressed in similar circumstances. Now for my two favorites. First, we have a pair of tweets that just belong together. Here we have, Ali A. Rizvi? 2015. You're all a bunch of cucked snowflakes and soy boy libtards. 2019. Milkshake attacks are the gateway to terrorism. I saw this one as a retweet from Sofane, who gave us this bit of snark. My condolences to the former citizens of Kyrgyzstan, whose proud symbol was modeled after the Nazi war flag, as they have now caught the vapors over milkshakes. This is obviously too much for them to handle. My thoughts and prayers go out to their fainting couches. Ooh, what a pair of tough guys. You tell 'em, fellas. What kind of wimp complains about milkshakes?
When you're slapped, you'll take it and like it.
Oh, wait. There is this to contend with. Dude, the people throwing the milkshakes believe that mere words are violence. So just stop the idiocy. And now that I'm considering it, these edgy hardasses are making their own complaints in their tweets about offensive memes and name-calling.
Are we cuckolds?
This last one, though. This one is absolutely the best. First, I've got to supply the context. This historical photo has been floated around a lot, and looking at it, you might think that maybe the milkshakes aren't such a nothing after all. But you'd be wrong, and Jeff Holiday will explain it. If you have unironically shared this to compare with modern times, you're either very dumb or very programmed not to critically examine your position. Well, I liked it when I saw it, so I must be programmed. How about you critically examine it for me, Jeff? The very basis for the picture is insanely different. Only the shake is similar. In the old picture, people are standing up to power. Today, people who have power are getting shaked. It's not even remotely the same. I get it now. The difference is obvious. A real milkshake attack doesn't just involve dairy. A real milkshake attack equals dairy plus power.
Where are the police? Dude, that's not a fucking stunt. This guy's killing him. He's burned himself alive. What the fuck?